you're talking about the customer journey.
Yeah. Hello everyone.
Right.
My name is Victor. Just moved to London from Rio de Janeiro about 8 months ago. And since I moved here, I started working with some startups, and Autopilot was the tool that I chose to build our acquisition channels and acquire new users. Today I'm working for this company called Skimlinks.
You want to talk louder?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Make sure you talk loud, because in the back it's
right.
hard to hear.
So today we work for Skimlinks, and Skimlinks is a company that helps publishers connect with merchants. And they're actually providing a service to help them sell their products through content. Let me ask you, how many of you use any kind of ad blocker here? Like, this is a trend that we are seeing more and more. Like Apple, they already said that they are probably going to add ad blocking natively on Safari. So this is something that is really worrying the publishers. So Skimlinks is a way that can help them. Sorry, upper. Okay.
Like you're shouting.
Right. So how does Skimlink works? We provide a JavaScript that can automatically insert a tracking code every time you post a link to a product. So are you promoting the new Galaxy S8? If anyone buys the product through your link, you get a commission, right? We were founded in 2007. We have about 1.5 million publishers, and we have 85 people working here and in New York. We have a broad audience of partners. Like we work with the Mail, BuzzFeed, the Mirror, but at the same time we also work with different kind of publisher sites, like bloggers, forums, coupon websites, YouTubers. So it's kind of tricky because each one of them demand a different way to communicate, right? So how do we acquire them? How do we talk the same language, and how do we say what they need, right? So we use these tools. This is our marketing stack, and everything is integrated together to Autopilot. So this is the first reason that we decided to go with Autopilot. It was natively connected to Salesforce. We did the integrations like 2-3 days. Segment and our own, no, go back. Segment and our own database, they are all connected to Salesforce. So we can map the full journey, all the path from acquisition until conversion from Autopilot. So now I'm going to run some, like a real practice scenario, and I'm going to show like in each stage how I'm going Autopilot, how they're helping us. So for example, in acquisition, the main objective in this stage is to create awareness, to generate leads that could go either to self-service clients or to enterprise clients. Activation. So here we want to get signups. We want to get people installing the JavaScript on the website. In rotation, we need to make sure that they generate the first £5. After they hit this stage, they will be sold, like they will see the benefits of our tool. So these are like the goals for each stage, and this is like what we do in each stage. So for example, in acquisition, we do a lot of content marketing. We do online advertising, so if you go to our website, but for some reason you leave, you'll be retargeted for like 14 days. And we will promote case studies, we will promote product guides, and also industry tips, like how can you create more revenue from the content that you are already producing, right? We have a lot of blog posts, so generating SEO traffic, and we also work with PR, mainly to acquire enterprise users. For when they move to the next step, activation, we need to help them understand all the benefits. They are not sold yet. So we do this lead nurturing process. They will start receiving emails from us, like, and depending on where they came from, they will receive specific message to them. And we also have blog subscriptions. Retention. So here they already sign up and they already installed the JavaScript on the website. So we need to teach them how to use, how to create better content, which kind of content is more engaging. So we offer a lot of best practice guides and also customer onboarding. So if they never come back to the website, they will receive an email. But if they come back to the website, they will receive an in-screen notification. So that's something that guides show. So many ways to talk to them and make sure that they reach the goal, right? So for the first journey, acquisition, if I start talking Portuguese here, I bet no one's going to understand, right? Olá, tudo bem? Yeah, right. So the same thing is when you are trying to acquire new leads. You need to target the specific personas that you want to talk to. So for example, if you are a YouTuber or you have a big Facebook channel, a big Facebook page, you want to learn how to monetize that specific channel. So we have a case study for that. Or if you are a big enterprise company and you want to know what BuzzFeed is doing, you know all the secrets. So download this case study and you will know what to do. And also through SEO, we have many tips like this with queries that people usually search on Google about affiliate marketing, content monetization. So they will land on the website, and through this heads-up notification, we can acquire the leads. Right, so what happens when you fill the form? It goes to Autopilot. So we have this live stream feed, so we can see everyone that is visiting your page. But if someone fills the form, anonymous becomes someone known. So every time this guy visits our site, we'll know where they're going, what they're doing. So this is the first step. We know who we're talking to. But now we need to see where we need to send them. Like, are they a blogger? Are they an enterprise publisher? So we need to start mapping the journey. So for example, here we have the social media guide, and we also have an e-commerce calendar. So two different audiences. They will go to this master list. That's like all the lists. Ah, cool. You ready?
Just aim it at the computer.
Just aim it at the laptop.
Oh, it's not working.
Yeah,
What is
should.
it?
Like this.
Use the arrows. Yeah.
There we go.
Ah, okay.
Four.
Ah, right.
I forgot that I had it.
Yeah, but the laser is not strong enough.
You just aim at the computer.
Yeah. Okay, so we have these two different audiences. They're going to this master lead of all leads that we are acquiring, but at the same time, we're sending them to Salesforce, so the salespeople can also work on them. So they have these specific campaigns, and then we can define that these guys, they are publishers. And then from there, we can define if they are relevant or not. So for example, in this segment here, we are excluding everyone with a free email provider. So if it's a Gmail, if it's a Hotmail, we would not give the same priority as someone from BuzzFeed, for example. So from here, we update them to two different lead status. And the same thing for blog subscribers. We could capture through a heads-up notification. We could capture through a form in the bottom of the page. So we add them to this group, sync with Salesforce, define the lead type, everything, and then everything's connected in real time, right? So moving to the next step, now we want to talk to them. We are nurturing. So the first thing you have to do is create this, let's say, this organizational structure. So for example, remember that first stage that we defined that people would be, we changed the status to self-service nurture. So that's someone that salespeople, they didn't really want to work with, wouldn't worth their time. So they will start receiving mail from us. So we check if they are receiving blog notifications. If they're not, we add them to this other list called self-service nurture starter, right? And the same thing for this other journey, which we are monitoring if they created an account. We are monitoring if they have a publisher ID. If it's true, they will be automatically changed to the status convert. So we have this in our dashboard. We receive a Slack message. Everyone received this notification like, congratulations, you have a new conversion. and they will also be ejected from the journey, so they don't keep receiving mails that doesn't matter anymore. Right, so that's when the fun begins. We are saying that everyone that just started on this self-service nurture, they will wait 2 days, and then we'll send the first email. You have to organize your emails in 3 different levels. The top one, you have to give like a more broader tips, like how can you make more money from your content, or how can you, what are the 5 tips for affiliate marketing, right? So we can send these kind of messages, and if someone clicks on the link from the email, they will receive a notification on the website, so they can sign up from there. But if they didn't click, we can wait another 3 days, add the delay, and then check if they interacted with the email. If they didn't, we send the other one. It's still on the top of the funnel. And you have to keep doing this until he finally moves to the next step, which is like the middle, which you are going to slowly introduce your product. So on this stage, you have to promote case studies, what people are doing with your product and how they're being successful. So this is like starting to generate the desire to finally sign up. And then we repeat this over and over again until, so 3 days, until they move to the bottom of the funnel, which is like an invitation to sign up. So for example, from the top of the funnel, how to create high-performing buying guides. Buying guides, for example, it's Mother's Day in Brazil next week. I need to buy a gift for my mother. Then, but I could go to a website, a blog, and they're listing everything that you could buy from Amazon, and they would deliver to her. So this is like a really successful format for content generators. They are usually like, it's one of the best ways to acquire more sales. So find out more, how can you do that, right? So you clicked on the link, you read that, you understood, and now you can understand how can you do that with Skimlinks. So for example, maximize your revenue with Skimlinks best practice guide. So what are the features that we have that you could use in real life? And then the bottom of the funnel is an invitation from one of the guys that work for us. It's like a super personal, and it's like, hey, I saw that you read the name of the content that they clicked, so we personalized that. And then we know that you could start monetizing your site, so are you ready? Just click here and start doing it, right? And we can do the same thing with email onboarding. Let's say you just subscribe to a newsletter from Skimlinks. So you don't want to start receiving all the new blog posts that we have. We have like 10 blog posts that are super high performing that would be super relevant for you. So what we do? First we send a welcome message, say hello, thank you for signing up. Here you find this, this, and that. And in the course of the next following days, you will receive like super targeted messages to you and how can you do better content. So we do that 1 day, 2 days delay, 3 days, and then after they go through this initial journey, we can add them to another list where they will actually start receiving the latest blog posts. So this is a really good way to get your audience to know what you're writing about, and then once they are used to what you do, you can push the most recent content. And this is also important because you don't want to talk to them like from several sides at the same time. So for example, you just send this, but someone from the other team decides to send another newsletter, so 2 emails on the same day. That's not good. So by doing this, we know that we are just talking on the right moment. And now, finally, on the retention, we want to make sure that people generate the £5. So what we do, as soon as someone creates an account, we wait for 2 days, and then we add to the list onboarding started, so we know who is still part of the process. And then we check, do they have like the first click? If they have the first click, we know that they installed the JavaScript. So great. So one next step would be generate £5. But sometimes they didn't install the JavaScript. Is it because they don't know how to, or they don't have access to the developers? So we send an email trying to help them with this step. So we have like a video, step by step, or you could forward that content to your developer, and then we help them doing that. But let's say they didn't want to install the JavaScript. Well, you can also use Skimlinks through link shortener, so you could monetize your Facebook, for example. So we send them to the next step. So, oh, you don't want to install the JavaScript? Well, there is another way that you can make money. So move them here. And so this goes on, 7 days delay, like to make sure that people are getting in the process. And then on the last step, just before they completed the onboarding journey, we check the commission that they generated. So if it's more than 5 times during your time, wow, great job. So we did what we wanted. So we send a message from our CEO. We could personalize that from Autopilot, and it's like a super personal. Whoa, I saw that you're doing really well. Is there something that you want us to help you with, or is there a feature that you are missing? Very personal, and like the response rates usually are really good. But if they didn't generate £5, we do the same thing, CEO talking to them, and then trying to ask them what happened. Is there something that we did that you didn't like? Or maybe it's something confusing. So just trying to get them on board again. So it's not on this journey, but depending on the response, we could add them to another journey to continue the story. Yeah, that's it.